guys, Nick here. You're listening to the official podcast of 4PlayerNetwork.com, a weekly live show about video games. We're proud to say that we've been at this since 2008 and have remained 100% independent since day one, and that means you'll never have to hear a sponsored ad on this show. So if you want to support what we do, all we ask is that you consider making our silly little show part of your weekly rotation. You can tune in when we record these episodes live every Thursday night at 8 p.m. Central Time on twitch.tv/4playerpodcast, all spelled out. If that's not your thing, though, you can also subscribe to the show on your preferred podcast service, join our community Discord at discord.gg/4player, or, if you're so inclined, send us a couple bucks a month on Patreon. And that's it for shameless self-promotion. Time to talk about the latest and greatest in the world of video games. Let's get started. Hey everybody, welcome to 4Player Podcast. This is episode 875. It is May 14th, 2026. I'm your host, Nick Henderson, joined tonight by Brad Simons.
Hello.
And Christopher Davis.
Good evening.
And welcome back. Time to talk about video games once again.
Oh no.
What you weren't expecting this? This is what we do here.
You think that we would do something new this week, at least.
Nah, yeah. we don't do new shit here. This is our routine. This is what we do. This is what people tune in for. We got good stuff to talk about tonight because apparently Mixtape is like the most controversial game ever made. I don't fucking know.
Not.
People are acting like it is.
It feels really forced. Like there was nothing there.
Yeah,
there are some games where it's like, okay, these are obvious targets for the chuds, right? Obvious targets for the chuds. You play as a black woman in this game. It's going to be their sworn enemy, of course, right? But but in Mixtape, it's like I'm not even seeing the obvious red flags for bigots.
Yeah, for chuds.
It's like you got nothing to latch on to here, man.
They're finding something. But we'll talk about Mixtape in a little bit. We also have a couple other things to talk about tonight, including the Resident Evil 9 DLC. And what's the name of the game you're playing? I keep trying to commit it to memory, and I keep forgetting because I don't have it.
The only thing saving this from being a second segment game is that there is not going to be a second segment.
That is true.
Yeah.
That is true. Moonsigil Atlas. No wonder I couldn't remember the name of it.
Moonsigil Atlas. Yeah. I kind of wish Crispy was here on that one because maybe he would pop off. Obviously, y'all aren't going to play it, but I mean, listeners might.
Well, I do. I mean, that the funny thing is, we were giving Chris Davis a hard time yesterday in our meetings channel because he popped in. Yeah. He popped in to tell us that he had added some stuff to our Steam family library, and he said, "quote We now own in our library Clockwork Ambrosia, Auto Sort is Broken, Save Room the Merchant, Agent Intercept, and Battlestar Galactica Scattered Hopes."
And he just was hitting us with the "you're welcome,"
All of us were
I did not say you're welcome. Fuck you.
I mean,
no, it had the tone of "you're welcome."
I did not. No, I was stating motherfucking facts. Okay.
You were stating facts, but in a very
But here's the thing, Chris Davis. I will buy a game like Moonsigil Atlas all the time, but I'm not going to broadcast to y'all that I bought it because I know y'all won't give a shit.
I broadcast that I got Mixtape because I knew other people here were interested in playing Mixtape.
Exactly.
But look, don't get me wrong.
Crispy's not here to defend himself, but that man hates Battlestar Galactica, and the only thing he hates more than Battlestar Galactica are people that like Battlestar Galactica. So he's certainly not gonna.
So he hates me, therefore. Okay, yeah.
He's certainly not gonna. Fuck.
It's nothing personal. It's just your love of Battlestar Galactica. That's all.
His favorite Starbuck is a boy. I think he maybe I don't know. He probably hates the original Battlestar,
series.
Right?
Yeah.
He probably hates that one too.
Yeah, Starbuck was mailing that. So the games I bought,
had no idea what y'all were talking about. Sorry.
The two save room games and the auto sort are puzzle games. The merchant one specifically is basically moving items around in a luggage case, just straight out of Resident Evil 4. That's
also what save room is. That is what
inventory management.
Yeah, it's just
that's just a sequel. That's what that series is, yes.
Yeah,
Or that it's now a series. They made a sequel, but yeah.
But I figure that's a perfectly fine, Steam Deck. I don't want to put too much effort in my brain kind of game.
Yes.
Battlestar, I'll talk about.
It's giving like humble bundle, like charity bundle. Like you bought a humble charity bundle, and you like announced that all the titles of all the games.
Look,
I'm not saying that's what happened, but like Carlos buys those all the time. It'd be so funny if he was like,
"Don't get me wrong,
guys,
Chris Davis.
Here's a bunch of
I think I speak for all of us when I say we're all appreciative of any games that get added to our library. It was just funny that you popped in and none of us had any idea what any of these games were except for maybe the Battlestar Galactica game.
I was like, you motherfuckers, you know what Google is, right? God damn it. Also, so Battlestar, I'll talk about next week. I'm just started playing. I'm really enjoying it. And then Clockwork
is that the one
Ambrosia.
that's like FTL? That's the one like FTL?
Yeah, it's Battlestar FTL, pretty much. And then there's Clockwork Ambrosia. I've wanted to play it. It is a Metroidvania all about custom weapon creation, where you defeat bosses and you build out your weapon as you see fit in different combinations of parts.
Interesting. I do remember seeing this game.
Dylan Voice from Love on the Spectrum. Interesting. I can't do the voice.
Not everyone gets that reference.
My wife says it's offensive. I mean, like Love on the Spectrum is certainly more popular than anything you're talking about, bro.
I'm
so
sure.
Maybe they do.
Sure. Nick, real quick, just a question. If I bought a game sight unseen for you and told you to play it, would you trust me and play it?
It's not that I don't trust you, Chris Davis. No. It's just that my time is precious. My gaming time is precious, and I can't prioritize.
You got in trouble
saying
that though, Nick, about your precious gaming.
I mean, I believe it or not, like on a good week, like when I'm like a full work week, I play maybe an hour a day.
Okay.
It's not until the weekend that I actually like get to like sink my teeth into something. You know what I mean? So,
well, if I told you that the game had an 80 on OpenCritic and that it is in a genre that you really enjoy,
tell me more.
Just say yes. Even if you don't play it, the world's not going to end.
I mean, you can add it to our library for sure. I mean, just don't be disappointed if I don't get to it anytime soon.
Did you watch that movie Hokum, Nick?
I did see it. I talked about Hokum last week.
Oh,
didn't I? Yeah, I saw Hokum.
I remember somebody talking about Hokum.
You saw some new shit this week or what?
Not this week, but I'm going to see Obsession on Saturday.
I'm going to see Obsession.
My wife and I are going to a Scholastic book fair for adults on Saturday. Y'all remember the Scholastic book fair?
That's just a fucking that's just a Barnes and Noble. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
No, they're doing like a pop-up event for Scholastic, but it's like,
what does that mean? You're gonna buy like a Goosebumps book?
Dude, no, I wish. That's where I got like half of my Goosebumps books back in the day. But like,
yeah, I know, but
it's literally it's just an event playing on nostalgia that people have for the Scholastic book fair. I have no idea what to expect, but we're going to do that, and then we're going straight to see Obsession in the afternoon.
Pretty sure it's just a Barnes and Noble. So I mean, is it just on Saturday?
I think so. It's like Saturday from 12 to 5 or something. I think it's like in a parking lot somewhere. In East Austin. I don't know a lot of the details. I just know Robin was like, you remember the Scholastic book fair? And I was like, fuck yeah, I remember the Scholastic book fair. And she's like, you want to go to one for adults? And I was like, yeah.
They still have book fairs. I've been to like at least one book fair this year.
Look, I know it's silly because we're adults and we can just go to Barnes and Noble whenever we want, and that's still probably like a much better experience. But it's nostalgia and it's something fun to do. So we're gonna go check it out. I will report back about the Scholastic book fair
for grown-ups is what it's called, literally. Okay.
Yeah. Interesting. And then we're going to see Obsession for lunch. So it's gonna be a good Saturday. I think.
That comedy, that sketch comedy, team. So weird. I watched. There's a movie. Oh, I have a letterbox now, so you probably saw it on there.
Oh, that's right, you do have a letterbox.
But the dude, what I think created Obsession. I created this other movie that like he couldn't get released, so he just released it on YouTube or something. Anyways, yeah, I'm gonna see Obsession tomorrow. as well.
No, yeah. So the director of Obsession is also, he does the sketch comedy stuff, and I love his channel. But he also is doing his next. I don't know if it's his next movie or if he's just like he's got a few lined up. He's doing the next like reboot of Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Weird.
I don't know what it is about comedians getting into horror, but the trend has been pretty cool so far. So I'm here for it.
Curry Barker.
Yeah.
I mean, other than Jordan Peele, like, what else has been successful lately?
Lately,
I'm out of the loop, just to be clear.
You're putting me on the spot. I'm sure some people in chat can think of other comedians who.
I mean,
it's not even just directing; it's like writing and acting. Like people in the comedy scene.
I mean, the star of Hokum was a comedian, right?
Parks and Rec.
Like it's not. It is like I feel like it is becoming a thing, but there's another one besides Jordan Peele that was Zach Kreger. Zach Kreger.
Yeah.
He came from like God, what was the shit he did before? It was not like the shit he does now. God.
Sorry, I'm Googling things as we have this conversation, so you can probably hear my clickety clacks. Oh, Whitest Kids You Know.
Yeah.
Okay.
Also sketch comedy. There you go.
He is a founding member of the Whitest Kids You Know.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's a big one.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it is.
So it's just an interesting trend. But yeah, I'll report back on you will also have seen Obsession, so we can talk about Obsession next week. I hear pretty good things about it though. But anyways, why don't we start tonight with an icebreaker, or I'm sorry, a 4-player 4-player.
Overlay still says icebreaker, and it's going to continue to say icebreaker.
A dick slicker question. Our question tonight comes from Wardog 9000 from Vancouver, Canada, and he is currently playing Indiana Jones: The Great Circle, which is a fantastic video game.
We never went back and played the DLC for that. The Valley of the Giants
multiplayer.
Like that.
So I canceled my Game Pass, which is how I had access to Indiana Jones. So that is probably the only reason I haven't gone back to it.
Well, if you have Discord Nitro now, you might be able to play it.
No.
Isn't it weird though? As soon as Xbox has a woman as the CEO, Nick immediately cancels his Game Pass. What's that about?
Fuck up. Oh my god! It's just a comedy of errors,
Like,
man.
Xbox got too woke for me.
Shut the fuck up.
That's certainly
War Dog's question is: what are your least favorite open worlds? And he says one that comes to mind for him immediately is Mario Kart World, which I am inclined to agree about. I bounced off of that game
for like 10 minutes.
I know, but I bounced off it so hard because like the core experience, which I thought was going to be all like built around the concept of it being open world, was like that was not the main Mario Kart experience. Is still kind of the cup experience. Like I was like, I don't know what to do in this open world. Like, what the fuck is going on?
Like way worse ones though.
Oh, I'm sure there are.
I hate the Burnout Paradise open world. I wish Burnout Paradise never went open world, and I especially hated that one because all the races started and ended in the same fucking like handful of places, and so stupid. I hated that game.
I mean, I didn't
love it.
I think this is kind of a cop-out answer because I don't hate these open worlds, but I think they've gotten too big, and I think it's become a detriment to them. And that's the latest Assassin's Creed worlds are just they're beautiful, but they're entirely too large to the point where they're so large that it becomes like the stuff that you're doing in them that would normally be considered like unique starts to feel repetitive very quickly, and it just kind of drags the experience down a bit. So
yeah.
But I feel like my actual answer to this question would be rooted in games that came out generations ago when they first started to do open world games.
Yeah,
pretty regularly.
Because like when they were, I mean, the Scarface open world, I'm sure sucked, right?
Fuck it. Oh man, I went back and played a little bit, and I still love this game. Don't get me wrong, I still love this game. But I went back and played a little bit of oh my god, why am I blanking on it? What's the not to killing game where it's like black and white? Oh my god.
Not Saboteur?
Saboteur, yes. I still love that game. But that open world, like going back to it, I was like, oh, this is a mess. This whole thing is a mess. But like the game does so many other cool things that it's still a really easy
Mafia games
recommendation.
have bad open worlds, right?
LA Noir.
Empty.
Yeah, LA Noir
LA
and
Noir
Mafia
was empty as fuck, yeah.
I mean, LA Noir, it was just set dressing to take you in between.
It really was.
Set pieces. I think LA Noir could have easily become one of my favorite games of all time if they had actually done something meaningful with the open world and had it like filled in that empty space in the game, because it was just a lot of driving from point A to point B, listening to conversations.
There was no reason to explore. There was nothing really to do. It was just like the game was story after story after story. There was never a break in which, you get to go do something else and go explore.
Yeah. I do think the Mafia games are another good example, though, Brad. They are cool in that they look beautiful. It's kind of the same thing I have to say about LA Noir. They look beautiful, but they serve practically no purpose. And sometimes driving cars in those games is fun.
I would throw in Borderlands. I think that game just has a real shit open world.
How do you an open world?
I mean,
I feel like if I went back and tried to play Borderlands now, I might feel the same way. But for whatever reason, that first Borderlands game really worked for me for some reason. Like I gave it my game of the year that year, and I'm still like kind of flabbergasted.
I think it was because it was your first like you never really played like Diablo or anything. I think it was your first like looter game, right? Like
that's definitely possible.
Maybe it was just kind of satisfying.
I'm also throwing in Far Cry 5.
Far Cry 5.
Yes.
I mean, I hear you on like a lot of your complaints with Far Cry 5. I totally get it. I don't think, for me, the open world was not one of them. It was pretty standard fare for Far Cry, and I've just generally speaking liked.
Well, that's the problem, is that it was number one, it was standard fare, like it didn't do anything unique. But then they throw in a unique thing that basically pulls you out of the fun and forces you into something, and that just kills the entire mood of that game.
Well, now you've managed to take a conversation about the open world itself, and then gone right back to the one thing we all know you hate about Far Cry 5, which is
I hate so much more about that game.
I know. I think it's bleeding into like the open world was fine. I mean, it could have been better. Like Far Cry 5 had such a unique idea for the series that it was kind of a shame that it didn't do something more.
You know what game has a shitty open world? Metroid Prime 4. Let's be honest.
Are we calling that open world?
If we're counting the desert as an open world, where I mean, it basically is areas connected by a desert. It kind of sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I had one on the tip of my tongue. What was it?
Well, if you think of it, we can come back to it.
Yeah.
We got a whole show to get through. So if anything pops into your mind, we can circle back around to it. But I mean, I think the good news is that these days, I think most of the open worlds are pretty.
Oh,
impressive.
Mercenaries 2.
Mercenaries 2.
Oh, I have a good answer, and this is I'm so sad to actually say this, but like the Hogwarts Legacy open world had so much potential, and I did play it, and I did kind of like feel the wonder and like the oh my god, I love this universe kind of feelings, but
it wears out after like 2 hours.
If you take that out of the equation, like the actual open world itself was just boring, which is weird because there should have been so much opportunity there to make it like interesting. But I also do think this is one of the situations where it's like the first game in a new IP or quote unquote new IP, like the budget, it's always like low budget, make it work, and then if it's successful, the sequel will come back and do it much better the second time around. And I'm sure that's what's going to happen. But
I'll say that the thing that really, amongst thousands of things that will kill you about Hogwarts Legacy, is that the minute they give you the ability to fly, that basically you're done with the map inside of an hour, and it's no longer interesting.
That is fair. That is fair.
Is it you played Hogwarts Legacy, Chris Davis?
I did.
Yeah.
No, Chris Davis.
Good.
Yeah.
Chris Davis is about to say some shit he's about to say some shit like he's never seen a Harry Potter movie. Right? Isn't that the most Chris Davis shit in the world?
That would be.
I read the books as a kid. Like,
but have you seen the movies?
Yes.
Okay. Just checking.
No,
checking.
That's all I'm checking.
We were just checking.
But
anyways, we don't talk about Harry Potter.
I would want to know what the intersection is between like people who've done one or the other. Like, what is that intersection? It's got to be small population.
Yeah, probably so.
I've not seen all.
I don't know. All I can tell you is that we're on week. I don't even know how many. I still haven't watched the trailer for the show.
No,
I'm pretty proud of myself. I hope I can keep this up. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, like it literally means nothing. I mean, you also just don't watch a lot of trailers. If you end up watching that show,
no, you don't understand. Trailers are the only thing that I watch on. Like, I go to YouTube. I open YouTube pretty much only to watch trailers for games and movies. That's pretty much it.
Really?
So, yeah,
buddy.
Whenever I see a trailer pop up, like if I'm on like social media or something, like the trailer just dropped, I'm like, I'm not watching it here. That's for damn sure. And I go to YouTube and pull it up and I watch it. That's like that's the extent of my YouTube habits. So I know that in and of itself is weird. So, anyways. Let's move on. Thanks for the question, War Dog. Guys, if you want to submit a question for a future episode, you can support us on Patreon for $3 a month at patreon.com/4player, or you can subscribe to us on Twitch. Either way, the link is in Discord for the forum where you can submit your question. If we haven't gotten to your question yet and you've submitted one in the past few weeks, don't worry, we'll get to them. We're gonna go through all of them, but I'm just kind of bouncing around a little bit. So, anyways, where do we want to start tonight? Mixtape?
Then do the new game.
Moonsigil Atlas.
No, we're doing Mixtape. I'm vetoing Moonsigil Atlas for now. We're gonna push that back to the
third
unofficial second segment, meaning last. I'm just kidding. Anyways, did play through Mixtape. Chris Davis, you didn't play through Mixtape?
No, I've been doing other things.
Why would he play through Mixtape?
Dude, why? What do you mean why? I feel like this is like... Mean?
Why would he play through Mixtape?
Because he loves these types of games.
Oh.
Doesn't he?
No, he likes Life is Strange. I don't think he likes these types of games.
I'd like to think I have an open mind, sir.
Open mind? But you understand, like the people who want to play this are the people who are like, oh my God, reminds me of my youth. Oh, I love this music. Oh, this seems so amazing. Oh, not like, oh, I have an open mind. Like you watch a trailer for this, and what is your reaction, Chris Davis?
I mean, it looks good. I've got other things I want to play
Frivolous
first.
bullshit is what you think, right?
Wow,
Frivolous
I don't know where Brad, I don't know where you fall.
How do you feel about Dazed and Confused, Chris Davis?
I've never actually seen it.
Richard Linklater's Dazed and Confused. Never seen it?
Nope.
There it is. It wasn't the Harry Potter thing. It was Dazed and Confused.
Fidelity. How do you feel about High Fidelity?
Never seen it.
Oh my God.
I mean, you've seen some John Hughes movies.
Yeah. Who hasn't seen Home Alone?
Home Alone. Is that John Hughes? Did he do
Wasn't
Home
it?
Alone? I don't think so, buddy. I'm more referring to like The Breakfast Club and that sort of.
I've seen Breakfast Club.
Okay.
There we go. At least one.
16 Candles. Whatever. Besides the point.
Played the Mixtape.
I played this as well. I mean, it's not. It's like a long movie, right?
Yeah, it's like
John
3 or 4
Hughes
hours.
directed Home Alone.
He did. He wrote it and produced it, but he didn't direct it.
Okay, I was like, I don't know if I've ever
referring to John Hughes movies. They're more referring to like
like Uncle Buck and Weird Science and stuff. Yeah.
Let's just move on. It's fine.
Anyways, let's talk about Mixtape for a second.
It's because coming of age teen ones, but it's fine. Yeah. It's fine. It's fine. We move along.
This is a coming of age tale that's all kind of built and centered around
one night. The last night before a group of friends breaks up, kind of, essentially. Not breaks up, but moves on.
And it's all framed because the main character is obsessed with music, like the history of music, and so she is narrating the game and like creating the soundtrack to the night. She's curating the music of the night as the story plays out, which is a really interesting concept. One thing
for Chris,
go ahead.
have you seen Ferris Bueller's Day Off?
Yes.
Okay. I just want to be sure. Maybe the most famous John Hughes movie, but okay.
Yes.
I just want to be sure. Okay. Sorry, continue, Nick. That's some shit where he would say no, right? And we would like lose our minds. It just seems like
he said it to Dazed and Confused, and I feel like that was big enough.
Yeah, but I mean, as an Austinite, shame on him for that's a Linklater classic, but whatever. It's fine.
That's true. That is true. But yeah, so this I really love this game, to be totally honest. It wasn't until I finished this that I found out that some people are trying to like really. I feel like
that is legitimately fake and not worth like our breath, like truthful.
Because
it doesn't.
I've seen a lot of people talking about like the music not be like some of the like the music not being like some of the because she talks about like as the game progresses she pauses her narration to like say. And next up we have, and she like talks about a track from a band, the history of that band, the album that the song came from.
It's fourth wall break.
Yeah. She breaks
like she talks through like the track list of that last night of her life, where she'll completely break the fourth wall. It's very high fidelity or whatever, just like he kind of does in that movie. And it's cool, like it's very stylized, and it has like a cool.
But and then on top of that, like they're layering it on top, like because it's these young kids who are obviously they're still they're like in they're like graduating high school, they're at the end of high school or whatever, and they're like they're kind of at that age where like the world kind of feels like huge and unknown, and they're having all these experiences for the first time or whatever. So like all these things that would be normally as adults are just like run of the mill things. Like if you're watching the footage, this is like they're searching for something and they come across this huge open field, and instead of just like I think we have to cross the field and then walking across the field, she cues up the music, and all of a sudden they're having this like really surreal like they're jumping and flying and like getting lifted up by the wind currents and stuff, but it's all playing to a soundtrack, and
they're like little music video vignettes.
Music video vignettes.
A lot of them are stitched together by just like kind of hanging out in each person's like bedroom, like at different points of the game, and then you're like clicking on things, and it's like taking you to like past moments and stuff where you're doing like little gameplay vignettes that kind of. Sometimes you're skateboarding, sometimes you're floating, and they can get pretty like surreal or hyper real or whatever, and
hilarious. Some of them are legitimately hilarious.
Some of the effects, right? It's like well, if their imagination was real, kind of like they're blowing up the cars by flipping them off, It's like it's very creative and it's stylish and it feels expensive. This feels like the most expensive. I mean, it doesn't even feel like a Telltale game or like a Life is Strange game. It's more of like the game that it reminded me of was What Remains of Edith Finch, which was a game that had a lot of like very distinct like little vignettes as you played the game with like unique little gameplay, like not deep gameplay, but like just vibey stuff. I mean, that one was maybe a little more like story heavy. This game is more of like, the vibe is the reason to experience this game. I don't think like storytelling wise, I think the performances are good and I like all the fourth wall stuff, but it's not like, and the characters are likable in a way that I don't know, like they're cool kids, I mean, sometimes like maybe the main character is a little too cool and a little too pretentious, but like she kind of gets called out for that. Like I gotta say, like when I watched trailers of this game, I was excited because they were showing stuff or like, oh, there's going to be like Devo and Smashing Pumpkins and Joy Division. I'm like, oh, I like that stuff. Like, I'm going to love all of the tracks in this game. But I was surprised by like how many like deep cuts there were, or like her music tastes are very hipster, but they're hipster for a person of that time period. So when she goes back and like references like older and older songs, it's not always like, because the further I go back, then like the less hipster my tastes are, right? Does that make sense? Like the stuff you listen to in like college is way more hipster than the stuff you were listening to like at like in high school or like in middle school or whatever, right? So like when I was that age, pre-college, that the main character wouldn't listen to because it's too like mainstream, right? Like
Yeah.
she makes fun of some of the music probably that I was listening to when I was that age, because you'd have to be like a hipster already, you know, in high school to like some of this music or to know some of this music. So I was surprised by like, you know, at least maybe like half of the tracks I actually never heard before, where I couldn't place, which was surprising to me because I thought this was going to be like nostalgia bait. Like I'm going to know all these songs top to bottom, but you know, I didn't. But that was kind of cool. I liked it because the character explained the music and why she thought it fit and why it was the perfect track. And that was cool.
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely like, I feel like, because for me, honestly, like I would say about 80% of this soundtrack I had never heard before. I may not be the most,
I mean, because it wasn't like the stuff that was blowing up the radio constantly in that era. And it's not like the era was like so narrowed down and specific.
In fact, they never tell you explicitly when this game takes place. They
make
references
because it
to
doesn't
things.
take place in a very specific time. The director has said like in an interview that he's trying to like capture a vibe, not like a very specific year or anything.
And I've seen a lot of people like try to jump on the game for that, being like, well, this game takes place in the 90s and this song didn't come out until like 2001 or something like that. But that's like, I don't think that was I think you're missing the point. I don't think that matters.
I agree. But you know, some of the criticism is like feels disingenuous. Now that said, I think this type of game isn't going to like vibe with everyone. I think if someone, you know, really can't be nostalgic for like what's happening of like, you know, oh, they're looking for booze, they're going to a party, the last party that maybe they'll hang out at together. Like, you know, I wasn't like going to like parties constantly in high school. That wasn't really my vibe. You know, I was on the debate team, but like sometimes you feel nostalgic for things that you don't even experience.
Yeah. I mean, I definitely got that because this was not reminiscent of my
vibe really well. It's like something can be nostalgic, even if it's not very specifically nostalgic to your
I think it speaks to the characters too, because I personally like all the characters, even if I didn't like all of the characters, you know what I mean? Like, I think they were all well written and well acted, and the things they're going through that kind of create the drama of the story are actually really well conceived. Like one of the characters is her dad is a cop, and like he is very overbearing, overprotective father. So like on their last night together, potentially before they all go their separate ways, like he is throwing this huge wrench in their plans, and then that kind of threatens the whole thing to blow up.
Which isn't like that far from like a Life is Strange sort of character or interaction, but I mean the truth is this game I think carries a lot on. It's just like it's very stylish, it's very polished, the music is very good, and like the performances are like, I think it's a better written game than maybe your typical Life is Strange, but it's not like written in a way that was obvious to me. Like the things they're saying are like kind of poetic, but like in an intentional way. Like I don't think teenagers actually talk the way that these kids talk, but like it's you know, they're saying like the things they're saying almost might be like, they almost sound like they would come out of like they would be lyrics in a song almost.
Yeah.
Like a teenager
which is fitting.
It's fitting, I guess. Yeah. Like, but it certainly seems intentional, right?
Yeah.
But yeah,
I feel like there's going to be a fair amount of people who are going to be like, well, it's not even much of a game. This could have just been a movie. And like to their point, I think they said something about they're even going to be hosting like they're going to be screening this like a movie or something.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
Sure.
I saw that.
Which is fine, but like I do think there is something to be said about like kind of like the value. There is value in like being able to kind of like walk around and live in the space as the story is being told. And I don't know. I didn't.
It's not. I think some of these Telltale style games can be like quite boring to play. Like in fact, historically, I've always made Malia play them because I can't stand like walking around and clicking on 50 different things. Here, it's like way pared down, and you're like zoomed off to these vignettes like pretty quickly.
They're fun.
They're fun, and they're not very like deep or anything. There was the rock skipping though. You can play that for like
dude. I did so much
time.
rock skipping.
There's a lot of like I would because it was like sort of a shooting gallery style thing that isn't obvious if you're not actually trying to like hit things during the rock skipping. But as you do, more things will like sprout out of the water, and it just becomes like a cool shooting gallery. I wish they did more stuff like that, to be honest, because that was sort of fun. And I was always kind of like looking for in these scenes where you could press a button to move on. Like, is there more to do here? But I think it was just like kind of a one-off with the rock skipping. It was pretty fun though.
Dude, I will say this at the end of the day, like there's so many moments in this game that I want to just blurt out right now and be like, oh my God, this is going to be one of my favorite moments of the year. Just because it made me smile or made me laugh. But yeah, it is kind of the whole thing. But like but there are moments that like I don't want to spoil for people because they're just too funny. They're too wild. I already
know what you're saying. I will say a lot of what works for me in this game, like they had similar sort of vignettes in that game Consume Me that I played last year. I mean, like granted the aesthetic was more like WarioWare kind of like cartoony than this game, but like it was a similar sort of like sense of comedy, and they really captured it well in that game as well, of like first date kind of stuff and you know, dinner with the parent kind of stuff.
Oh,
and
you
know,
you said first date and it reminded me of the tongue.
Yeah. They did something very similar in Consume Me actually, like a way to represent like the awkward physicality of a teenage physical interaction for the first. You know what I mean? Like it's
It was Saturday morning and I wasn't fully awake yet when I hit the tongue sequence, and I wasn't quite ready for it. It's something. It's funny. I like it. I recommend this game a lot.
I pulled up some like quotes from the game so I can give an example of what I'm talking about. This is a quote from the game from one of the characters. This year, I want to ride a flaming stallion of delinquency. Yeah. Like no one talks like that, right? But you know, I
love that moment though.
Yeah, that's cool, man. It reminds me of like Dazed and Confused, kind of like truthfully, which is honestly one of my favorite movies. I mean, I love Richard Linklater and I love that movie. But yeah, I vibed with it. I liked it.
Cool. If you're here for the vibes, it's there. All right, we can move on. Chris Davis, to throw it over to you and switch gears to something completely different.
Very, very, very different.
You said you have opinions.
I have opinions, and when I say that, I usually have negative opinions, and I'm not bucking the trend in saying that I have negative opinions about what I'm about to talk about. I played through the new DLC mode for Resident Evil 9. It's called Leon Must Die Forever.
You have cat ears on?
Those are wolf ears, sir, and he has a wolf tail because he's in wolf mode, and
is it like
there's an audience out there for that, as we are both well aware.
It is a butt plug, right?
Let's not judge. You know,
I'm not judging. I just want to know.
I'm not going to find out. I don't know.
The only furry tales we will accept around here are butt plug tales. Chris Davis.
Okay. Well, that's news to me, but thank you for informing me. This is from what I gather, it's heavily inspired by the original version of the mercenary mode from the first Resident Evil games. The idea is that you have a series of rooms connected at odd, disconnected doorways.
So the maps aren't the same as in the base games. What you're saying?
Well, hang on. I'm setting it up here. So in those original things, they were just disconnected rooms. You killed enemies and you tried to get to the end or build as much time as you could as you were killing enemies. This is kind of that, but you are playing through a lot of the areas that Leon specifically has access in the base campaign, and it's all time based. So,
mercenaries. You're using a lot of words to say they brought back mercenaries, which is exciting.
It's not like the mercenaries we know and like is the thing. Because you're not building up combos. You're not having infinite enemies spawn in an area. It is a roguelike mode to where you spawn in, you have weak weapons, you kill enemies to get cash to spend on perks and stuff like that. You find weapons off of enemies as random spawns. You face harder enemies
they spawn in random places, the enemies.
Not really random. There's only a few set patterns per area that you travel to.
Are the enemies different from run to run?
I mean, it's the same enemies that are unique to that level that you're in.
See, that's a missed opportunity. I figured they would have thrown in enemies that don't show up until other parts of the game.
There's so many missed opportunities with this. Let me get through this. There's also enemies that have this color overlay on them, and they're like much harder enemies to kill. And those will start dropping the good stuff. They will drop starred weapons that have attachments and do more damage and things like that. They'll also drop these slot enhancers, which give you extra perks that you can buy using that currency you get from killing enemies. So theoretically, you have a core loop that makes for a lot of good replay value. And the problem is what they take away from the player and what they give to the enemies instead. I need you to understand, this footage was... This was the second time I'd beaten the mode out of like 20 runs. And it is so infuriating at times as to just how easy it is for you to just get fucking screwed in this.
But roguelikes are supposed to be hard, right?
Yes, I get that. I understand that. I know that. But in this, they take base gameplay ideas and mechanics out of the player experience in order to make it quote unquote more difficult, when it really just makes it harder for the sake of being harder. Yeah, it's not good, hard fun. It's just harder for the sake of being harder. So let me give you an example.
I think we just got the name of the episode. Good, hard fun. Sorry.
So the hatchet is the biggest unique mechanic about Leon in this game, right? You cannot, on your own, sharpen your hatchet and restore it to power. You can't do that. You have to either find an item in the area that will completely repair its durability, or you have to pray that you get a good cycle drop on your perk in order to buy the ability to have it restored. Not even like giving you the ability to repair it on your own. No, you're fucked that way. You have to... So, like, the whole parry mechanic in this becomes dangerous to do. Like, it was already, like, threatening in RE9 base campaign, but in this, it is, like, it's not even worth using your fucking hatchet. Like,
either be a master at it or don't do it at all.
100% that. And it It's fucking infuriating that way.
Holy shit.
Also, like, yeah, random enemy spawns going through areas that you already been through for no fucking reason. Yeah, that comes out of nowhere and fucks you over. You basically have no invincibility frames in this mode. So anytime you get, you can get easily stun locked and instantly die, especially from a boss enemy. There is the blister heads. They have this one-hit kill ability where they kind of jump and lunge at you, and they can dodge around furniture and perfectly hone in on you, which makes no fucking sense. But your enemies, they get invincibility frames. They don't just get invincibility frames, they get invincibility seconds. Like, they can have 10 to 15 seconds of just like infinite invulnerability.
10 to 15 seconds. Do you know how long that is?
Yes.
You're saying
that is very fucking long.
You can't damage them? You can't damage them?
No, you can't do anything. You can't stunlock them. You can't do anything. They just tank damage. They don't take any. I don't fucking know. But that's the case especially with some of the fucking bosses in this fucking mode.
There's gotta be something you're missing. There's gotta be like a mechanic or something that's supposed to.
No, it's just the whole cycle of a run in this is that you play through stages. There are multiple doors per area that you can choose to use to advance to a different stage. Each one has slightly harder enemies, or they have a different boss encounter or things like that. They will split areas in Leon's main campaign up. Like the Raccoon City exploration thing is actually two different segments, two different levels instead of one. The care center here is two different areas as well. But they don't even like keep half of Leon's areas to explore, in my opinion. Like, there's no level for the police station, for example. There's no level for going.
I can tell you why they did that, because the police station in the base game, as cool as it was very limited.
You say that, but one of the first areas you can go to is that first combat sequence in the care center with Leon, where you encountered the zombie with the chainsaw for the first time. That small room, that's an entire fucking level.
Maybe it'll be DLC.
That's the only logical explanation I have for that.
This is DLC.
More DLC.
Yeah, we already know they're working on an expansion for the game. It's supposed to be about Chris's squad again, but surely they're going to add that in here, because as is, like, I would not recommend this mode to anyone. This looks like that it
sucks because they're so spongy. That's what makes this seem lame.
So fucking spongy. It is infuriating at times just how much ammo I have to dump into even like mid-tier enemy. The zombies that are the soldiers in Raccoon City, like, they take so much ammo to kill. Unless you have like a sniper rifle on hand to do headshots, like, you're tanking upwards of probably 150, 200 machine gun bullets to kill one. Your 30 or 40 handgun bullets, shotgun rounds, like a dozen of them. Like, it can be insane.
My like first impulse hearing you say this and like looking at the footage and everything, it just kind of reminds me of, like, even though this is kind of, this mode is bringing back a mode that was made popular in like
Resident Evil 4.
More the action-oriented Resident Evils, right? Like Resident Evil 4. Yeah. And the actual game, like the core game of Resident Evil Requiem, was built more around like there weren't this many enemies usually in any stage of the game.
In the main campaign.
They were more spaced out, and therefore like enemies being a little spongier wasn't a big deal, wasn't as big of a deal, because you were like, there were less of them, and most encounters were like one, maybe two enemies until maybe later parts of the game. But like here, they're just they're not changing, they're not tweaking the experience, but they're throwing way more at you without.
They're not even remotely tweaking it. Like, here's the thing: is that there's so much of this that hints that they were trying to do as cheap a job as possible in developing this, because all of the Grace item spawns are exactly where they are. You just can't pick them up. You can see them, except for like some very minor, small amounts of ammo. Like there's a room where you find some handgun bolts, and there's exactly 2 handgun bolts for you to pick up. What the fuck use is that in this mode? You just decided not to go through, put the effort. The other thing is that they kept all of Leon's canned story voice lines in here playing for no fucking reason. It doesn't make any sense at all. Like I get banter against an enemy boss. I don't get like playing through the streets of of Renwood, that city you go to for the first Leon combat encounter, and having it always start with him having that exact same banter with Sherry.
So it's like they didn't even bother to like remove the context that no longer exists.
No,
in this mode. Yeah,
they absolutely did not. But again, it's so glaring how much is missing. Like so much Raccoon City is missing. They're missing the Titan spinner battle. They are missing areas. They're missing half of the fucking arc. Like if they could just take the Grace areas and let you play through those as Leon, like that would be so much better. It had just
the problem is those portions of the game were designed for a character that wasn't as combat focused.
Yes, I agree with you there. But
I feel like you would have felt that.
The level spaces that are available in there, like they could just populate those with enemies and that would satisfy the need. Like the whole sequence in the arc with Grace and all the fucking liquors, that's a huge area, relatively speaking. Yeah, that would be perfect for Leon to go play and do. Or even like half of all the Leon level design in there is not a playable area in this mode. Like when Leon starts fighting the liquors,
I would have to imagine that it is eventually going to be, to Brad's point, it's probably going to be more DLC. They're probably going to
God, I would hope
break us across the coals for paid content on this. But it's also just kind of perplexing because we know they can make these modes.
Yeah.
Well,
you have to. I just showed it in the footage. You have to buy the ability to get invincibility frames.
What?
I mean, whatever. It's a roguelike. I mean, I get it, I guess.
Yeah, but
so buy it.
It's just
that's what you want.
I mean, you have to get it on a random drop though. Like you have to shuffle through and hope you get it. Like it is immensely useful once you discover it, but it is a rare drop, and without it, your run is basically dead. Especially when you fight the final bosses of the game. I don't know.
Well, hey, at least the campaign
sounds like we
really
should
good.
pass
on this right now. When the expansion comes out, and if this mode gets treatment, play it, because I think there's something great that could be here, and I love the concept of this in theory, but the execution fucking infuriates me.
Okay,
combo system is wild.
There's no combo system. You're not even doing this for a score. You're doing it to advance to the next level and get as upgraded an item as possible so you can take on literally the final boss of the game.
It really is just a roguelike mode. It really isn't Mercenaries. But, you know, it's kind of interesting.
It's Mercenaries light, but also done poorly.
Yeah.
All right. Well, like I said, the campaign's still pretty good, so...
It's a good campaign, yes.
Great campaign, even, some might say.
Yeah. I will say...
I mean, you played it 5 times, so...
I did.
That's true.
But I do that for all the modern Resident Evil, because I always want to unlock all that content and eventually do a run where I just have a fucking infinite ammo rocket launcher, because I can.
Because you're a sicko.
I will say, one fun thing is the perks in this. There is a perk that is every single time you melee attack an enemy, it sets them on fire. And so if you time that right, you can have an enemy set other enemies on fire.
Sweet.
And that's just fun.
I like the sound of that. All right.
I'm just going to stick to Let It Die.
You can
Bradley.
Yes.
We've reached the second segment.
Moonsigil Atlas. We're
We're officially in the second segment now.
Woo! Woo! Second segment energy.
Oh, it's a card game. Let's move on.
First segment, one segment show, second segment energy. Here we go.
Who likes card games?
No one.
You do. That's for sure.
I don't know. I mean, y'all don't play deck builders, right? But I mean, y'all only don't.
Chris Davis has dabbled in it more than I have.
I mean, has he?
Yeah,
didn't he? I mean, didn't he
what
just
deck
play
builder did he play?
Vampire Crawler? Is that not a deck builder?
That's a deck builder.
Okay. Yeah, sort of. Yeah, sure.
Kinda.
Yeah. This is a demo. Well, I mean, it's not. The game's out soon, but the demo was extensive. I've been playing this. Obviously, so it's very Slay the Spire inspired. More so than like Vampire Crawlers or whatever.
Did you just need something because you were so
No. I have been playing. I have played a lot of this because it's actually quite cool. So there's a lot of games like Slay the Spire out there where you're just, but they're like so much like Slay the Spire, or they're nothing like Slay the Spire. The thing is, the cool hook for this game is that you draw a hand of cards and you are fighting enemies like you would in a deck builder combat game, right? But instead of like playing your cards based on mana, which is what almost all of them have, right? Like, oh, this card has 1 mana cost and it's fine. But then there's this other card that has like a really good effect, but it's 3 mana cost, right? So you have to but you can only play 4 mana worth of cards per turn, right? Like that's kind of like at the core of any deck builder.
These
right?
cards have shapes.
Some sort of currency. Yeah. The difference here is the only thing that's keeping you from playing your cards on a turn are that they're shapes that have to fit on this hexagon. And they're all different shapes, and they all have like different like amounts of like triangles in them, right? And that's like the very like simple gimmick here, right? Your mana is space on this hexagon. Pretty simple, but it's the way that they fully lean into this idea that makes this game really cool. And I mean, and that's it, right? I think that's what makes a good deck builder or any video game, right? Is you take your gimmick, but then you iterate on it and you like explore it in like really fun and interesting ways. You create, mid bosses and like act bosses that really like fuck with that formula, and you go from there. And then you offer like a lot of interesting cards and upgrades and relics and stuff, just like Slay the Spire. And I think this game is that like it's a game so clearly inspired by Slay the Spire that has like a unique core gimmick that is, I think, explored wonderfully. And it's all visually represented on this grid. So like you're playing shapes to fit on this grid, and obviously so your synergies aren't just synergies in terms of like how does this effect stack with this effect or like play off of this effect like in any deck builder, but it's like, can this piece even fit on the board on the same turn as this other one? Because like really powerful effects, your equivalent of like 3 mana effects are like the larger shapes, right? But it's like the twists on that are so cool, right? Like like if an enemy's attacking, they're like attacking sort of like an area of your hexagon, and usually on the side of the shape that they're on, right? You can kind of be fighting enemies on the left or the right of your hexagon. And like the way you damage that enemy is to play a shape that has like an attack rune on the shape somewhere in that field. But if they're attacking you, then you want to play a shape that has one of the defensive runes or multiple defensive runes somewhere in that shape. So getting them like to line up together on any given turns is like the simple like basic, mechanic. But like they have like they managed to like make multiple character types that have like different sort of design philosophies in the way they interact with like these mechanics. Like one of the characters, it's all about like filling up the hexagon entirely to trigger like bonus effects, or like she has cards that shatter, and shatter means like that shape will like break into pieces, revealing more of the hexagon, so you can place even more cards, more shapes, right? So it's all about having the right amount of shapes and like to fill up the board so some of the shapes can shatter so you can play more. So card draw is important, but also like having shapes that fit together, because if you can get almost all of the entire hexagon but you have one little triangle that's missing, then you don't trigger your effects. So it's about so I need to have a lot of cards that play like,
so there's a little
triangles.
bit of like a little bit of Tetris in here.
Yeah,
kind of.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It scratches kind of a Tetris itch of like fitting stuff together well, right? But that plays into like the upgrades, right? Like one of like the common like upgrades, like let's say you're going to a campfire and Slay the Spire, where you can choose to rest or you could choose to like upgrade a card, which upgrading a card might make it more powerful. But the upgrades in this game are like remove a little triangle. So now the shape is a little bit smaller.
Oh.
But that makes it more powerful, because now you can fit it on the grid or on the hexagon with more shapes. Like it's taking up less physical space, which means you can connect them together easier.
That's
it's such a small simple thing, but it's very clever. Or like this character has a like her main card or whatever has like a spread effect. Like it's like a very specific shape, like let's say like a triangle, but when you place it on the board, it expands. Well, that's not very good if you're trying to get as many shapes on the board as possible. But if you're just trying to fill in space, like that's a really powerful effect. So it becomes like a build synergy. Like, I'm going to build around this concept of like, filling up the board. And there's other cool things. Like the bosses do like crazy cool shit. Like, one of them rips the hexagon apart, and now you have to like fill in these like block and attack in these very specific fields, but like you're very much more limited on how you could fit pieces on the board. Or another one has this mechanic where it has a very small, narrow like field on the board where you could actually block and attack it, but then every turn it generates like a triangle that you can place on the board that lets you like rotate the entire grid around. So it's all about, I'm gonna fill in that thing with block, and then I'm gonna rotate the hexagon, and I'm gonna fill it in again, and then I'm gonna rotate it again and fill it in again. It's just like a lot of really cool, like clever ideas. Is somebody had a cool idea, and then they spent like months and months and months coming up with clever ways to expand on that.
It feels like a very tactile.
Yeah, it feels good.
Builder.
Placing shapes feels good in this game. And I think that's important, right? You can't make a game where you're placing shapes and the shapes don't feel good, but there's just the right amount of like good sound effects and like screen shake when you like slap a shape on the board. Like that stuff is important. I think this game kind of nails it. Now, the downside is that, you think of a game like, you go all the way back to like Magic the Gathering, right? Like cool art is part of it, right? And I know people like make fun of Slay the Spire, but like, some people like the art in Slay the Spire or the beta art in Slay the Spire. And very quickly at a glance, you could tell what a card is if you've played it for hundreds of hours like me, right? By just looking at the art. But here, the art, like the cards shapes don't look very fancy, right? There are still like uncommons and rares and stuff and like cool effects, but you kind of have to like read those effects. It's hard to like at a glance know what a card is, because they're all just various like triangles stuck together. So like if there's anything that's like maybe kind of going against like the mass appeal of the game, is that it doesn't have that. But like I think the game looks very nice. I like the way the enemies look. They look like sort of constellations in space. It has a nice look to it. But the card art itself is like pretty unexciting.
Pretty bare bones.
But that doesn't mean like it's not accomplishing what it's trying to accomplish. I think it's accomplishing that like extremely well. Boss fights and mini bosses, like they'll put like little effects on the field that will punish you. Like if you don't overlap all of these like blobs during your turn, something really bad's gonna happen. Or if you overlap with any of these that the boss just played down on the field, bad shit's gonna happen. So it's like a cool way of keeping you on your toes of like limiting the way and where and how many shapes you can place on the board. It's good. It comes out at the end of the month, I think. And this is just the demo, but I played a bunch of the demo, and I'm probably going to pick it up when the game comes out 1.0 at the end of the month. And I'm probably not going to broadcast to the Discord that I bought it all for y'all. But it will.
We'll know, though. We'll know.
Yeah. So if you like Slay the Spire or deck builders, check it out. There's a demo.
Or Tetris,
it's really cool. Or Tetris even. Or shapes, if you like shapes.
Do you like shapes?
Geometry.
I love shapes.
Bog Noise, I'm almost certain it probably has. Well, I mean, you're kind of looking at one that didn't want to be sued, I suppose. But like, I'm sure it exists. I'm sure Tetris, Slay the Spire exists. I'm sure Tetris, Balatro exists. I'm sure Tetris, everything exists. How about a Tetroidvania, though? Have we ever seen one of those? You can rotate the world. Actually, we have.
We have?
But, there's also Bob's game, but, it's cool. It's cool.
Yeah. And also, if you like, shape games, you could also play Sectori. Everyone should play Sectori.
That's not the same thing.
It's very different. Yeah,
it does have shapes. It does have shapes,
but not the same.
It's a different kind of shape.
You don't think about the shapes in Sectori. You just blast them. Okay,
that's true.
This is a thinking man's shape game.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, you're not a thinking man.
Oh, y'all should play fucking Sectori. Okay, it's a great game.
I mean, I believe.
On that note. Is there anything else we should talk about before we wrap up?
Nah, I don't know.
4-player minute. Games. It's time to wrap up. Talk about final thoughts.
I will say whatever.
Whatever.
Not much.
Yeah.
Fantasy Critic. Nobody bid on anything this week, so whatever. Forza.
Don't worry, Summer Game Fest is right around the corner.
Yeah, I mean, there's cool games now. Like there are games that are coming out that people are missing because we do public bidding, and I guess people are waiting, and I don't know. Crispy's waiting for me to bid on something. There's a game coming out next week called Phonopolis from Amanita Design, which I think looks super cool. I picked it up in Super League. I don't know what it's going to score, but it looks amazing. I think we've watched trailers of it. Phonopolis with the PH. I'm glad no one bid on that, but I don't expect... it was only going to get stolen by Crispy if I bid on it, so I didn't bid on it. So, I don't know. Maybe Ed would have taken it too, but I like Amanita Design. You might know them from Machinarium or... whatever. Botanicula, maybe? Anybody? Botanicula? Any Chuchel fans here?
No, I do remember Machinarium, though.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. Okay.
All right. Final thoughts for the night. Brad, get us started.
I don't know if I have any, man.
Oh, come on. You have
Circle
thoughts.
Back. Circle back to me. Chris Davis.
There's only 3 of us. Chris Davis. Start.
All right, fine, I'll go. No, fuck you. I'll go.
Oh, God, there it is. Sorry, Chris Davis. That was all
I just want to talk about soft-ass gamers some more. Soft-ass critics, soft-ass players. What the fuck is wrong with people? Seriously. Hard games are memorable. Because I made this rant, before the podcast, right? When we were doing trailer talk.
You did.
I don't know. Do we hit a tipping point? The era of Dark Souls is past us. Is this Miyazaki's fault for not bringing back Bloodborne? Now we're anti hard games. I don't get it.
No, I mean, it's just one of those things. Everything comes in everything comes back around full circle.
There are people out there who think Silksong is a disappointment because it was too hard, and I'm like, I don't like these people. I don't want to know these people. Who are these people? If Silksong was not hard, we'd probably struggle to distinguish it from Hollow Knight. I mean, maybe that's not true, but think about Hades.
And that in and of itself is crazy to say, because Hollow Knight also was hard.
Exactly. Well, yeah, Hollow Knight's incredibly difficult, sure. And so was Silksong, but I mean, think about Hades, right? Hades was a game. Hades 2 is a good game, but to me, that's an example of the edges were sanded down a little too much. You know what I mean? They went down too smooth. They made
on
more
the actual
Hades.
Podcast. You have not yet said what sparked this thought about soft.
Oh, so there was preview coverage of Mina the Hollower that came out, and there was more than one outlet complaining about it being hard or frustrating, or it's a Souls game. There's corpse runs and stuff, and which is silly to me. I mean, Yacht Club makes old retro style inspired games. I mean, Shovel Knight was inspired by Mega Man, which is a historically hard series. This is very much has a lot of Souls influence and Castlevania influence, which are hard franchises. So I don't know, maybe people were not expecting that, But even like Pipistrello is not an easy game. You know, that game can be quite challenging at times. So I think that makes games better and more memorable. I'm not saying they should be like bad hard. I mean, what games are bad hard? I don't even know. I don't even know. But like
most of the games that I would that are
this
hard
is like
that
a
I've pushed
well-designed,
through.
refined experience.
I mean, like pushing through a hard game usually implies that the game is hard but well designed, and two, it's going to be memorable. If a game is hard but not in a satisfying way, it's failed. But like that's not Silksong. That's not going to be Mean of the Hollower. Like, what are you talking about?
No, I
not
really
Elden
don't
Ring.
believe that. Like, I can't think of the last game I played that was like too hard and bad.
Bognoise has. I'm glad he mentioned this. Bognoise says Cairn was actually pretty hard, but it worked.
If
like,
Cairn was easy,
so satisfying.
then it would have been. If Cairn was easy, then it would have been that fucking.
Cairn made my fucking my palms sweat while playing it.
What was the Cairn game from a couple of years? Jusant. It would be fucking Jusant, which was way too sleepy for me. Honestly, I couldn't do it. It was a sleepy ass game because it was like not hard enough. It needs to be hard because, I mean, whatever. Yeah, Cairn's great. One of the best games of the year so far, for sure. Man. Same with Slay the Spire. Like people are online complaining that like bosses and stuff are too hard, and I'm like, bitch, you would not be here if Slay the Spire wasn't hard. No one would care about Slay the Spire if it wasn't hard. There's been countless deck builders that are just too easy and forgettable, or just they don't push back enough. Slay the Spire is good because it's well designed and it pushes the fuck back. And if you want to get good at Slay the Spire, you need to get good at deck building, which is the whole fucking point of the genre. If you're losing, make a better deck. It's good because it's hard. I mean, to be good, it needs to be hard, I should say.
Oh,
yeah, he likes it hard. You hear it first.
To be good, it needs to be hard.
To be good, it needs to be hard.
In your ass or in your Steam Deck. You know what I mean?
As long as it's ribbed for his pleasure.
Fair. All right.
The Steam Deck it does have kind of a ribbed-like quality to it, I'd say, you know.
The Steam Deck?
Yeah. It's got some texture to it.
Sure. I mean, I don't think you want to be sticking it in your ass.
I have a
You have a butt plug?
A protector on it.
Oh, yeah. So you can stick it in your ass is what you're saying.
No, it's
sorry. We're going off the rails here a little bit. Chris Davis, we're passing it over to you. It's your turn now.
Yeah.
Final thoughts.
Final thought is so you know how I like to play weird mod things that come out every now and then. A weird mod thing came out this week, and I'm surprised it hasn't been taken down by Nintendo yet. It is called Dusklight. It is a emulated or recompilated, I'm not certain, project for Twilight Princess that uses the GameCube the dump to basically make it run 16:9, full 60 frames per second. You can import texture packs so you can do character mods and different skins and stuff like that. And basically fixes a bunch of different things. A lot of quality of life things, like making that top thing spin and travel so much faster than it could before. So it's actually fucking useful and traversal. And it made me realize that, like, I have not played Twilight Princess since it first came out.
Dude, Twilight Princess is one of those games I was like, it's an amazing Zelda game, and I've only played it once.
And if Nintendo is never going to give us Twilight Princess HD, then
they did. They literally did.
Yeah, they did for the Wii U, but that was also like, what was that?
It's trapped.
12 years ago at this point?
I refuse to plug in my Wii U, goddammit. Give me the Wind Waker HD.
I'm not buying a Wii U to play a GameCube game.
I have both of those games,
but I to just emulate it.
That's why I'm saying I'm going to download this Dusklight thing before it gets taken down by Nintendo and see if I can get this thing working.
Okay. So, I'm just saying, like, Nintendo did do Twilight Princess HD. You could also just play that. But I get you.
Yeah.
I mean, no, like the changes to the items and stuff sound cool, because that was the most disappointing thing, getting out of that dungeon with the spinner and realizing it was basically useless outside of a couple of puzzles in the world.
Yeah, there's I'll link a trailer in for Trailer Talk next week, but it looks, I don't know, man. There's there. That is the one Zelda game that I remember the absolute least, and I wanna go back.
I think it's the same for me.
That's
But
weird.
It's a huge. It's
because it's one of the best.
I have even played fucking Skyward Sword twice.
Ugh.
Like, what the fuck am I doing?
Twilight Princess is like, it's a very like lazily paced game. I feel like it's very like, especially the beginning of that game, but it's so good. Like if you're not like, it's long and plotting in a way that, but it's not annoying like Skyward Sword. It's just kind of like
fair.
Slowly paced. But it's fucking good. It still has maybe the best dungeons of any 3D Zelda. And I don't know, just like memorable dungeons and bosses, and maybe still the best final fight with Ganon, most memorable to me, I think.
I don't even remember it.
Like that in that Hall of Armor, I think it was.
I mean, what are you talking about? What are you all talking? I mean, you just said you don't remember it. Yeah, no, but I'm saying then, you with Zelda on horseback and you're in Hyrule Field and she's shooting arrows and and then you get the one-on-one with Ganondorf. Like it's not just Ganon.
I don't remember the
I forgot about that. That's pretty.
He
cool.
turns
I
into
need to play that game
Ganondorf,
again.
and then we are both on horseback with Zelda riding shotgun. Really?
I remember it now. All right. My final thoughts for the week. Let's see. I don't really know where to start. I finished Mixtape, and then I immediately started up Monster Hunter Stories 3 because it's in our.
What?
Yeah,
weird.
I know.
I mean, cool. I guess that's the benefit of a library, but
yeah, I'm taking advantage of the shared library, and I mean, I'm still pretty early. I'm like 2.5, 3 hours into it at this point. And I just love the kind of like the world and the presentation of this game. Yeah. I'm still like trying to wrap my head around
the combat system.
Because I feel like I plug in like one command and then all of a sudden like 8 things happen, and I'm like, because it's like everybody in your team does their own thing without any input from you.
Well, there's more to it than that. Actually, you do have some control over stuff like that.
Yeah, I see.
You always have a partner who also has their own monster, but it is. So I played the previous game, so it's not confusing to me. But even then, you have to like. I would recommend just like a quick like beginner's guide on that kind of explains the combat.
I might do a
because over the years they've deepened it. A stream would work. Yeah,
I might do a stream where maybe you or Crispy come.
Oh, dude,
show me the ropes.
I'd love to. I've played like 80 hours of that game already.
Because that game is stunning.
You don't have to play like this is a game that you could like just blast through the main story in like, I don't know, like 25 hours maybe, or you could play the game for like 125 hours. There's so much in that game to do if that's what you're looking for, and it can get really addictive if you are. But like you need to understand like the core combat system and like the tells and stuff to look for. But it's good. You need to, like any Monster Hunter experience, you need a little bit of a guide to
that's my final thought for the week then, is expect a stream from me in the not too distant future, where hopefully I can get Brad and or Crispy in there to kind of give me some pointers and stuff like that, because that game is really fucking cool. Also runs really well on a Steam Deck. So yeah. Also, Saros is still going really well. I'm making progress in that slowly but surely. Game is so sick, and like, I know I said it last week, but man, that game feels so fucking good. Like, just game feel wise. Oh my god. All right, guys, that is
shout out to Griffin. Griffin
your son
today.
Griffin. Oh, okay. Graduated from what? High school?
No, from
5th grade.
That's way too bright. From pre-K.
Yeah, That is very, very
Why
bright.
is that so bright?
Congratulations, Griffin. Shout out to Griffin for graduating.
Good for
Dang,
him.
look, he's got a graduation photo and everything with the
Graduation
hat and the
pre-K.
tassel and all that stuff. Fantastic.
He's going to elementary school next year. Both kids in real school. Woo, woo, woo.
So that means no more daycare?
Yeah.
Or is that still
Yeah.
a thing?
Yeah, now...
I bet you and Malia are happy about that.
Yeah.
Right? I don't know. Is that how that works?
No, very happy. She works from
Okay.
home, and it's going to be the first time since we've started having children that she can work from home without also having to kind of watch kids at part of the day at the same time, which
Dang.
is not easy. So,
Well,
Yeah.
shout out to Malia then too. That's pretty awesome.
meaning like we could take a day off together and not have to worry about kids as well. It's kind of nice.
What? That's crazy.
Yeah.
Congratulations. All right, guys, that's it for us tonight. Thank you so much for listening. We record these on Thursday nights at 8 p.m. Central on Twitch. You can also find all of our podcast episodes on your preferred podcast service. You can find out more about our show on 4playernetwork.com. And once again, just a reminder, our 2025 year in review is out. You can find it at 4playernetwork.com. You can watch all of our top 10 videos there. But I think most importantly, obviously, if you want to be a part of the community or just keep up with the show, you should be in our Discord, discord.gg/4player. And that's it. We'll be back next week to talk about more video games and stuff. So in the meantime, be good to each other, play video games, and good night.